Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are trying to run away from the mess they've created, but Justin Baldoni isn't going down without a fight, and he's ready to bring in more people to make his case against Blake.
I am more than willing to take every single text message, lay them out, put them on a website for the world to see.
Timothée Chalamet had a really awkward moment on set with Gwyneth Paltrow, and now what Gwyneth is saying about their intimate scenes is making it even more weird. Bad Baby was right about Alabama Barker because it seems like anyone is allowed to come into Courtney and Travis's house, and her boyfriends change every other day.
We're gonna get matching tattoos.
Drake and Josh had a reunion we never saw coming. The child star duo, who had previously been in a feud for years, is finally speaking after Drake revealed the dark truth of what really happened at Nickelodeon.
Wow. You're about to get arrested, bro.
Let's get into it. Let's get into Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Now, it seems like this lawsuit between Justin and Blake has now poured over to everyone else who was involved in their respective teams and the movie. Justin is now suing his former publicist, Stephanie Jones, accusing her of leaking the private text messages that sparked a huge legal battle with Blake Lively. Remember those hand-selected text messages that made Justin look so bad? So Justin is currently suing Blake and Stephanie. Keep in mind that Blake actually went to go and sue one of Justin's team members, his crisis PR manager, Melissa Nathan, also along with a producer, Jamie Heath, and Wayfair co-founder, Steve. Shortly after that lawsuit was filed, Stephanie actually filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni for breach of contract for linking her dismissal to the alleged smear campaign against Blake. The publicist claimed that she fired her former employee, Jennifer Abel, last summer after learning she was stealing company documents in an attempt to start her own business. Now, when Jennifer returned her company phone to Stephanie claimed that she discovered text messages and emails related to Jennifer's work with Justin Baldoni, in which she apparently realized that Jennifer had been involved in a retaliation campaign against Blake. So was there a retaliation campaign or not? Blake claims that she has all these numbers and statistics and visuals to prove that there was one, yet Justin Baldoni says it was organic, that it was all Blake and her really bad interview moments. Selling online can be overwhelming until you try Shopify. Shopify is what big brands like Skims and Aloe use, but you don't need to be a big business to get started. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online, in person, or on social. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Sloan, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Sloan to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/Sloan. Getting therapy shouldn't be this hard. It's already tough when you're struggling and then you have to deal with insurance, wait lists, and then trying to find someone who gets you. That's why I love Rula. It's a healthcare company that makes therapy easy to access and affordable. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey toward improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to rula.com/Sloan to get started today. After you sign up, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Go to rula.com/Sloan and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares.
But there's something she said that has now been resurfaced, and it is right on the nose as far as what the issues are in her battle with Justin Baldoni. Back in 2022, she was speaking at a Forbes Power Women Summit.
Yeah.
She definitely did. Talked about being hired as an actor, but wanting more, and how she secretly tries to take more power.
Show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative.
So now Justin and Jennifer are teaming up together to sue Stephanie Jones, accusing her of violating client confidentiality by sharing these private communications that later became central in Blake's lawsuit. Quote, "It's undeniable that Stephanie Jones initiated this catastrophic sequence of events by violating the most basic of privacy rights." Brian Friedman went off on Stephanie Jones, essentially blaming her for the entire lawsuit that we've been talking about so much. Brian said, "No stranger to stirring up crisis scenarios for departing clients. Stephanie Jones maliciously turned over communications from the phone she wrongfully took from her own partner to her cohort, Blake Lively's personal publicist, Leslie Sloan." Shout out to the fellow Sloans. Immediately after Stephanie was terminated for cause by which Wayfair due to her own wrongful behavior, because she was just a bad publicist. In recent weeks, both Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have filed motions to go and have this entire lawsuit dismissed, but I have a feeling it's not going to work in their favor. Let's get into Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow. So I never thought I would talk about this story before on my channel, but it went viral last week, and I didn't realize how close Timmy and Gwyneth have gotten. Gwyneth Paltrow did not hold back when discussing the intimate scenes with Timothée Chalamet in the upcoming movie Marty Supreme. Gwyneth, who's 52 years old, put it bluntly, "I was like, okay, great. I'm 109 years old and you're 14. Gwyneth and Timmy star in this new movie that's loosely based on the life of a table tennis champ named Marty." Interesting. Doesn't sound too thrilling, but it looks like these two are very intimate within the film. The internet was buzzing after paparazzi photos of the two actors kissing in character made the rounds in October. Let's go ahead and take a look at that clip. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, so they're really getting into it, huh? She looks like slightly uncomfortable. I don't know if that's her like acting. If you're trying to sell anything online, here's the truth. The platform you choose makes all the difference. When I started selling, I had no idea how much back-end work goes into running a store. Between the inventory, payments, shipping, abandoned carts, it can get overwhelming real fast. That's why I love Shopify. It's a platform trusted by millions of businesses, from small startups to brands like Skims, Aloe, Allbirds. It's not just a website builder, it's a full-on commerce system that helps you grow. And get this, Shopify has the #1 checkout system on the planet. That means customers can check out faster and your conversions go way up. In fact, Shop Pay can boost conversions up to 50%, less abandoned carts, and more money in your pocket. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Sloan, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Sloan to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/Sloan. Therapy has helped so many people in my life, but getting started is usually the hardest part. Between figuring out insurance, finding the right person, and hoping they're available, it's a lot. That's why Rula is such a game changer. Rula is a healthcare company that connects you with licensed therapists and psychiatrists, and they make sure the care you get is affordable and high quality. All you have to do is answer a few questions, and Rula matches you with an in-network provider based on your needs. You could book someone as soon as the next day, and they're not just setting you up and leaving. Rula checks in, helps track your progress, and makes sure you're getting the care you deserve. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on their journey toward improved mental health and overall well-being. Head on over to rula.com/Sloan to get started today. After you sign up, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Go to rula.com/Sloan and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares. Now, I do think if the roles were reversed, like if it was a 50-year-old man and, a popular Timothée, then maybe some people would be a little turned off by this. I mean, I do think Gwyneth Paltrow is a very interesting character. So seeing this pairing did catch me by surprise.
This one went, oh yeah, that is... Now, when this happens, did you get just messages, texts?
Yes, it's just like you're trying to have this scene and then, it's a private moment and then there are paparazzi and then it was like all my mom group texts were like,
Oh my God!
oh my God, they were on fire.
Now, I wonder how Kylie Jenner feels about her man kissing another woman, Gwyneth Paltrow, to say the least. Gwyneth, who became a defining figure of the Me Too movement in 2017, also said that she had been slow to embrace one of the changes in the industry that came out of that period, which is the rise of intimacy coordinators. She says, there's now something called an intimacy coordinator, which we all know very well from the Justin Baldoni and Blake-Lively lawsuit, which she claimed she did not know existed. When the coordinator was on set for Marty Supreme and asked Gwyneth if she'd be okay with a particular interaction, she recalled, I was like, girl, I'm from the era where you get naked, you get in bed, and the cameras are on. She said, we said, I think we're good. You can step a little back, Gwyneth said. I don't know how it is for kids who are starting out, but if someone's like, okay, and then he's going to put his hand here, I would feel as an artist stifled by that.
Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow, they are starring in the movie Marty Supreme together. The headline read, there's a lots of sex between Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow in this movie.
Marty Supreme went viral during production because there were paparazzi photos of Chalamet and Paltrow making out. According to Paltrow, the two co-stars will be getting even more hot and heavy in the movie. I mean, we have a lot of sex in this movie, Paltrow teased. There's a lot. A lot. She said a lot twice.
And maybe I can understand like where Gwyneth is coming from because it's such a foreign concept for her to go and take advantage of a co-star. But there are plenty of your male counterparts who need that intimacy coordinator there. Now, Gwyneth did have some nice words for Timmy. When speaking about Timmy, she said, quote, he's such a thinking man's sex symbol. He's just very polite, properly raised. I was going to say kid, but he's a man who takes his work really seriously and is a fun partner. This comment reads, what's up with the young kids having scenes with older women? First it was Nicole Kidman, now him. Which comment below if you guys want me to do a deep dive on Nicole Kidman. Another comment reads, what is Hollywood's obsession with these age gaps? It is interesting because I don't know, like, is the age a big part of the storyline? It seems a little bit unnecessary, but I might be watching. Actually, I don't know, because the concept of the movie sounds a little bit boring. Let's get into Drake Bell and Josh Peck. You guys know I was heavily involved in the Nickelodeon drama. I was actually the person who uncovered who Drake Bell's abuser was, unfortunately, but I'm glad the world knows who he is now. Nonetheless, Drake Bell and Josh Peck worked very closely on their Nickelodeon show together, but Josh Peck didn't really understand the weight of what Drake had been going through. This article reads that Drake and Josh teamed up to talk about Quiet on Set, the documentary where it looks like Josh first found out about what Drake had gone through at the hands of Brian Peck. Keep in mind that Brian Peck and Josh Peck are not related in any kind of way. Drake revealed that the investigation into what had happened to him was happening during a break between the Amanda Show and Drake and Josh. So when they were filming their first pilot for the latter, no one had a clue because Brian hadn't been arrested yet. Drake explained he had to return to a place where his abuser was still around, comparing it to having a monster in his safe place. Josh recalled how Brian suddenly disappeared, giving him a gut feeling that there was something wrong here. But listen to what these two had to say talking about this. And honestly, it's giving very healing energy. I'm glad they did this.
I could never have known at that age was all the things you were going through.
Yeah.
For the most part, it wasn't shared with me. This separation started between us.
From Amanda Show, that was the time when we were hanging out and going bowling and staying at each other's places. And then as that big break between Drake and Josh and Amanda Show is when I told my mom what was going on. All of the stuff that you saw in the documentary, that was when all of that was going on. And then when we shot the pilot, we were in the middle of the investigation, but nobody had known anything because Brian hadn't been arrested.
Right.
So I had to come back where the dude was, where the abuse was happening.
And we're 14.
Yeah, and so now I'm coming back.
If you guys don't remember, this guy Brian drugged Drake and R-worded him, touched him, made him have sleepovers, a lot of really nasty things.
Hasn't been arrested. And I don't know if you remember, but he came and visited during the pilot, and that was an issue. But I still had to play hey, cool, whatever. Wow. You're about to get arrested, bro.
Yeah.
And you don't even know. And he's walking around set during the pilot.
Josh said he later got a text message from someone on the show telling him that Brian had been arrested and going to jail. Brian was only sentenced to 16 months in prison, and afterwards went and worked at Disney.
Now I'm entering the Drake and Josh phase, where we should be bro, partners. This is our time. But I came back to the same stage the same parking lot, the same dressing room.
Everything's triggering.
And in the back of my head, the whole time I'm working with doing the pilot, I know that there's this investigation happening. I know that this guy's about to get arrested. I know that shit's about to hit the fan, and nobody in here knows it.
Drake revealed that Josh Peck had reached out to him personally after watching the documentary last year, officially ending their years-long feud. Because remember, Drake Bell wasn't invited to Josh's wedding, and it got really messy, but I'm glad that they have made up. Let's get into Alabama Barker. Alabama Barker has been such a mess. This headline reads, Alabama appears to accuse UCLA cornerback Scooter Jackson of cheating on her. I mean, really, Alabama, you have a new boyfriend every few days. So, I guess that's what happens when you're 19 years old. So it makes sense.
I don't think that people are understanding the severity of the situation. Alabama Barker literally just tricked Scooter Jackson into getting her initials tattooed on, just for her to turn around and dump him and say Alabama is single with the same initials that just got tatted on him. Like, that is so messy. Alabama Barker knew what she was doing with this one, girl.
She commented on a social media post writing, and next time tell UCLA not to cheat. There she is with her man's post up, and you can see the comment, and next time tell UCLA not to cheat. She really just lets anyone over at her house. Like, their house has no rules. I saw a video of, like, people coming into her bedroom and meeting her for the first time. Could you imagine having people come to your bedroom? You're getting ready, doing your makeup. It's your first time ever meeting them. Like, hi, nice to meet you. I can understand friends coming over for a little pregame gathering, but this was her bedroom, and it's treated like a trap house. UCLA, the school, actually chimed in and commented back at Alabama Barker saying, leave us out of the chat. They have nothing to do with her man's cheating on her. But the messiness just got started, because then she posted another man in her room wearing his chain and talking about how they're just friends. Why does she have so many men in her room? Where are her parents? Comment below. Did your parents have rules about you having people over? Did you have to leave the door open? Because she's in there and she's got a whole football team and who knows what's going on. Oh my gosh. Look at that look. She looks like literally a 45-year-old woman. Put the wig back on, babe. Put the wig back on. This comment reads, so pretty much Bad Baby wasn't lying. Another person quoted Bad Baby's diss track, 1,000 bodies and not even old enough to drink. Another comment reads, as a parent of 2 daughters, I'm embarrassed for Travis Barker. And honestly, I'm embarrassed for Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian. Let's get into Diddy and Tony Busby. Now, we all know that Jay-Z is going after Tony Busby, this lawyer who's been the face of all these Diddy lawsuits. Diddy's legal archenemy, Texas attorney Tony Busby, is withdrawing himself from more than a dozen trafficking lawsuits against Diddy. It looks like he's going to remove himself as the man who represents these clients, which is honestly a red flag in my opinion. Like, wait, why would you remove yourself? I thought you were standing strong against Diddy and Jay-Z. Tony says he's backing out of the lawsuits until he is admitted to practice law in SDNY. The move comes after Diddy filed legal docs last month claiming that Tony had no business filing these lawsuits because he's not authorized to practice law in that district in New York. Okay, so that's a little bit less of a red flag. So he's just not qualified to go and file a lawsuit in the Southern District of New York because you have to do it in places where you are approved. Kind of like a therapist. Like a therapist isn't approved for every single state. Tony says that his admission status has now become a distraction and is shifting focus away from the victims, so he's stepping back. Meanwhile, Tony does remain representing a number of other lawsuits filed against Diddy in other states, just none that are in New York. Tony says, I personally withdrew myself, not my firm, from the cases we have on file because my admission hasn't been cleared yet. I'm still attorney in charge in all of the New York cases and intend to file cases very soon in Nevada and California. I don't know how many more lawsuits can be filed against Diddy to make a difference. I feel like at this point it's a little bit plateaued, which is kind of sad because we're talking about victims and their drama, but there's been so many that I'm really looking forward to May coming around to where we have this trial and we could start seeing whether the courts are going to be on Diddy's side or on everyone else's side. Let's get into Skai Jackson. Now, I saw this really bizarre clip in my opinion, that Skai Jackson had posted where she's talking about her newborn son's skin complexion. Now, I'm not going to be ignorant. I know skin color is a huge issue in America because people are so judgmental. There's so much racism. The hate is unreal, but I don't think Skai Jackson is making it much better because she goes on this rant talking about her son's skin color, talking about her baby being light-skinned and how the melanin hasn't developed yet, which is completely accurate. It's right. But in a way, it feels like a weird excuse for her talking about her son and like trying to, again, like making excuses for something that's not a problem. She said, my newborn skin color shouldn't concern anyone. It's the dumbest thing that she's ever seen. And honestly, that video of her describing it was even dumber than that.
A newborn's skin color should not concern you if I'm not worried about it and I'm his mom. And this is why I do not post my child. It won't be posting my child.
I respect like you not wanting to post your child. A lot of celebrities do that, like the Biebers. They haven't shared a picture of their son yet, but the fact that it's only because his skin color isn't a certain color that you want it to be is weird. We did get some photos from Skai Jackson. Like here's one of them where she's got her, white little baby hands in her hands. Honestly, good for Skai. She and her mother need to go and chill out. And I think that she needs to go and work on getting back into the industry because I don't know what she's going to do unless she's acting. Let's get into Joe Gatto. I have to say my heart was broken because I grew up watching Impractical Jokers. My parents always had it on. So when I saw that Joe was accused of SA, I was taken back. Former Impractical Joker star Joe is shutting down a TikToker user's claims that he SA'd her when she was 19. But at the same time, he admits that he did not make good decisions, saying, I've used poor judgment and as a result, I violated the trust of people I love the most. So he says he did not do this, but also admits fault at the same time, which doesn't add up. The woman who goes by Juicy B on TikTok began to go viral because of her allegations, saying, I got SA'd by Joe Gatto, the Impractical Joker. Let's go ahead and react to her claims together.
My story right out flat and how it is, and finally get it out there because I didn't know how to or if it would ever gain attention, and now I have some, so here's my time to shine. Here we go. My first interaction with this man was at brunch with my mom and my sister, and we were all fangirling. So yeah, we went up, we took pictures. Here's me, here's my sister. So I was like, okay, maybe I can get some free tickets because, I don't know, I've never met a celebrity before. It low-key worked. So here's my Instagram story. Here's the text.
See, I'm sorry to everyone who reaches out to me on Instagram. I don't check my Instagram DMs like this because you get I wouldn't find myself in trouble, but look, why is this? Joe needs to get off his phone and stop messaging fans on Instagram.
So I sent him crazy to meet you, gonna try and get tickets to your show. Awesome to meet you, for sure come, it'll be fun. Got tickets, trying to find someone to come. Awesome, I'll leave 2 meet and greet passes for you at the box office under your name so you can come back and say hello, have fun. Huh? Long story short, I had...
Also, she can't be acting suspicious there. That's nice. You're probably hell yeah, meet and greet passes.
An entire row, barred off row in the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee to myself. So here's the one. Here's another one. Looks gross. It just looks gross now when I look at it. I went home and I had a crazy roommate at the time, and so I was drinking, and she kind of was half convincing me to do it. If you don't do it, you're going to regret it. Do it for the plot, blah, blah, blah. So I was drunk, whatever. And then he was texting me all this stuff, and, it was starting to get a little weird,
We do what for the plot?
He turns on vanish mode. So I didn't get much of that, and I was drunk, and crazy roommate, so doesn't make the best combination. But I did get the one screen or picture of my phone of him on vanish mode texting me the instructions to get to his hotel room. Get to the point, Ubered to the hotel. So this is me in the elevator, fancy ass elevator. Well, I also have the timestamp down here. I wanted to show that.
I do find it interesting how she does take pictures along the way. She's truly documenting this entire process.
How late it was. This is, I think, when I left. Some stuff happened. I don't want to go into the details about everything, but it just the things he said, and he was bragging about things, and just was, I don't want any girl to feel like that. And I'm finally I've been wanting to tell people this for so long, and I've tried in different ways, but it's hard to with somebody this big come to the realization that if I do say something, that I'm really saying something.
Now, she got plenty of responses, but they were heavily mixed. Like this one, it's giving, I was drunk and now I regret it, so I'm going to get my 15 minutes of fame. You knew exactly why you were going to that hotel. Be for real. Another comment reads, as a victim, this isn't giving victim. No one sounds this excited to tell their story ever. Not once have I heard someone tell their story with such an enthusiasm and eagerness before. Which comment below, do you guys feel that same way? Another comment reads, you have so much evidence and yet society remains cruel to you. I'm so sorry, I believe you, I feel the frustration. Let's get into Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney's living her best life. She's on an all-girls trip after these breakup rumors. Breakup rumors with her fiance did not stop Sydney from flaunting her wild side in some new safari photos. She and her man, Jonathan Davino, who I'm going to do a deep dive into this, split, and it looks like she's not sad at all. Sydney appears to be having the time of her life in Africa. TMZ first reported that she and her fiance had postponed their wedding date. The duo was scheduled to tie the knot in May, but it seems like recently they haven't been too worried about that, and their relationship has just been fizzling away. It also looks like when it comes to her living situation, Sydney's been living at the Beverly Hills Hotel all by herself, which kind of sounds glamorous because it's like a very iconic hotel. It's like beautifully set in Beverly Hills. It's pink, but it's kind of dated too. It's not worth the money. Now, breakup rumors have not been confirmed yet.
Sydney Sweeney is furthering rumors that she and fiance Jonathan Davino have broken up. The Euphoria star and film producer were first spotted together in 2018, ultimately getting engaged in 2022. But on Instagram, fans noticed Sydney has removed a photo of the two kissing from a January 2nd carousel slide.
And in a recent report, sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that they're supposed to get married in May, but the wedding is on hiatus. They claim it's all because of a busy schedule, but in my opinion, love just doesn't wait like that. So I want to hear what you guys think of this episode in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Let's Get Into It podcast. It makes me so excited to join you guys every week. And thank you for just tuning in and enjoying it and liking it. It makes me so happy. And yeah, what other topics do you want me to dive into? Actually, let's just do like a little refresh because we talked about Gwyneth Paltrow, which I've been talking about Gwyneth a lot lately on my main channel too. Like we talked about her food stamps challenge where she and her company decided to do like food stamps for fun for a week to see if they could survive. And not to spoil the video, but they didn't. Yeah. Drake Bell, though, it's so interesting to see Drake Bell back like in the headlines. I mean, Drake has gone through so many different things because he had his own criminal charges against him, remember? And it seems like anytime he talks about his own story and his own pain, people just bring up that, which I think is valid. It makes sense, but I wonder if those people are even hearing what he has to say. It is interesting though, like when it comes to like celebrities, like what numbers I have Drake Bell's like phone number, like should I call him right now and ask for an opinion? I'm just kidding. I'm always too scared to text. Like if someone gives me their number, I'm never gonna text them. Like I'm not even hitting up my own people. Yeah, hopefully Skai Jackson doesn't try to get this podcast removed though, because she's like very happy when it comes to copywriting people. But I don't think the clip that we used of her, she could copyright it because I think it was a live stream. And plus like the Shade Room, they put their little logo on it. So I think we're okay. Look at me just doing a little like recap at the end. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you all so much. And I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye guys.